Greetings and welcome to another one of our videos. I recently was asked the question, I thought it was a really good one, and it can be summed up best as, what's in your bag? This is the bag that I carry with me to work every day, and it's got all my work stuff in it, but it's also got all my mobile content creating and editing stuff in it as well. So let's take a look inside and see what we got. So the most basic thing that I've got here, of course, is my computer. Now that I can use to record into an Audacity or something like that, or OBS for sure, but also use that for the editing and whatnot. So I would load the clips onto there and then edit there using DaVinci Resolve, or if I'm doing like a live recording, then OBS. The next thing I have in here is my eyeglasses case. I gotta be able to see. Then we get inside the main compartment. And again, we've got assemblage of work stuff as well as content creating stuff. These are going to be bone conducting open ear headphones as well as a Bluetooth transmitter in there, so I can turn anything into a Bluetooth signal and put them through the headphones. I don't use those so much for video editing. I find it really hard to balance the levels, and every time I do it, it just gets a little wonky. My notebook, my mobile brain. We'll do the work stuff first. Folder with all important papers, and this is my external extra monitor. It is super useful for workflow. Now, that's the work stuff by and large. Oh, and then of course, the computer charger. But then we get into the mobile content creating stuff, which is really important. We'll start here. I'll empty the bag and set it aside. So one of the most important pieces is in here in this mini wire dock, and this is my Rode Wireless Go 2. So here is the actual transmitters as well as receiver. And then we've also got the USB-A to USB-C cables that come with it. And then another thing that's really useful and important is this. This is the USB-A to Lightning adapter. I tend to, when I'm using the Rode, to record into my iPhone, so this is crucial. The cool thing with the Rode as well, and if you've watched my View from the Rode videos, I use this pretty much exclusively. It just isolates the sound and creates a better sound than if I'm using the microphone on the iPhone directly. So this allows me to connect the USB-C from the receiver of the Rode directly into my iPhone and record on the video. Now the Rode can also, if you've got the app installed on your computer, can record internally as well as kind of a safety channel. I like to have as much safety with that as possible, just in case something goes wonky with the audio. And then the other thing that's in here, and I haven't used it as much recently, is lavalier mics. And I think we've got two of them in here. Oh, we've also got the fuzz balls that go directly on the Rode transmitters. But this is if I want that square transmitter out of the way. I can hook that onto my belt or something and run this up, and then I've got my microphone. And then the other thing that I have, again, here's the other lav, is this cable from Saramonic. This is, I don't want to say outdated, but it's definitely something that we needed initially. This connected the TRS output from the transmitter directly into the Lightning adapter. When this came out, there weren't too many options for that, but since then I've moved on to just using the USB-C directly into the Lightning. I like redundancy. Again, this is a TRS to TRS, so if you've got an auxiliary input, you can do the Rode directly into that. And then the last thing in this bag is my USB-A to Lightning adapter. Again, this one works too. I like having, as they say in the military, 2 is 1, 1 is none, so I like to have that kind of redundancy and all of that. So that is my Rode setup, and I use that a lot. The other thing I have is a Hercules phone holder. Normally I have two of these. I'm using one of them to help record this video as well. And what I love about these is they can hook onto anything. They hold the phone spring-loaded. It's also got this shoe that you can put the Rode transmitter into, just like this. Or the receiver, rather. So it keeps it out of the way. Very, very useful item to have. It works if I'm in studio, just whatever I'm doing. In addition to the Rode, I also have the Zoom M2 microphone for recording purposes. Now this does a couple different things than the Rode. One, again, I like having a backup microphone. This can go totally battery operated, uses AA batteries, or you can plug it into the wall. Super portable, but it also records stereo into 32-bit float. So if I'm doing something that I know is going to be really loud, I'm going to want to use this instead of the Rode because the Rode could potentially clip. The other thing that this does is it's got the internal SD card. So I can record whatever I'm doing onto that and kind of do like, man on the street interviews, that kind of stuff. Super portable, it'll record like that, or I can run it out into my phone. Very useful item for those purposes. And the last thing that's in my bag, and this bears a bunch of explaining, this is work stuff as well as recording stuff, but this is a GoRuck wire DOP, useful item. And then I usually keep in here 2 iPhones. Again, one of my backups is being used right now to record this. And these I use as cameras, so don't trade in those old phones. Keep them as cameras. The other thing with that is this universal cable. It's a USB-A to basically everything. Very, very useful, very, very worth the money. Get one of these. You'll never be without the cable that you need. Also, USB hubs, card readers, so this can use the big SD card in addition to the micro. Just all of this various and sundry connectors, adapters, USB plugs. You can never have too many of these. Put a bunch of these in your bag, you will never regret it. So that's all kind of that stuff that's up there. Then over on this side, I've got the cables that go with my monitor, as well as, this is a very, very useful item too, another USB plug, but it also does USB-C and USB-A. Highly recommend get a bunch of those. Again, you'll never be without power. But the last thing in here that's really, really, really useful is these the Shure 215 monitors. These I keep with me for mobile content creation. I like the Audio-Technica over-ear for in-studio, but look how much room this takes up. This is nothing. The sound is fantastic on this, and you can balance the audio for when you're doing editing video on the go. I mean, most of the time, again, when I'm doing my View from the Road videos, I'm editing those while I'm out on the road, and this is how I can make sure that the audio is going to sound okay with that without having to carry around those bulky studio headphones. So this is what's in my bag. This is what I'm always carrying with me for mobile work stuff. I can work from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection using this stuff, as well as create quality content and edit it and upload it with everything that you see here. I hope you find this helpful. Post below. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. And as always, like, share, subscribe. We'll catch up with you next time.
If you're facing a unique problem with podcasting or remote learning, we can help. Reach out to us at thepodcastingstore.com and we'll see what solutions we can find for you. And if you like what you hear, do me a favor and tell a friend. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our e-newsletter, and you'll never miss another podcast or video again. This is Drew with thepodcastingstore.com. Thank you for listening.